Hi friends, today we are working on chapter 10, lesson 4. This is the last lesson of the chapter. And so today we are going to be working with combining three-dimensional shapes. So let's start out by reading the instructions down below. Teacher directions. Use geometric solids to make each composite shape shown. Circle the name of the shapes you use to make the composite shape. So a composite shape is made out of two different three-dimensional shapes. So let's look at this first one. Okay, first, what shape do we see? We see a blue cube, and then we see a blue cone. So this is a composite shape because this one shape is made out of two different three-dimensional shapes. It is made out of a cube because we see the cube right here, and then right on top we see the cone. Okay, so now let's look at this next composite shape. Remember, it is made out of two different shapes. What is the first bottom shape that we see down here? Remember, it's that very long one, and it has the word rectangle in it, so it is called a rectangular prism, right? So this one right here is a rectangular prism. And what is the top shape called? Is it a cylinder or is it a cube? It's a cylinder. So we're going to circle cylinder because this composite shape is made out of a rectangular prism and a cylinder. So great job. Let's turn the page. And it says, you can put together three-dimensional shapes to make other composite shapes. So you can use different three-dimensional shapes like the rectangular prisms, cylinders, cones, cubes, and you can put them together to make this cool different shape called composite shapes. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Circle the shapes used to make each composite shape. This is our composite shape. Now, what shapes do we see in this composite shape that were used to make this final thing? Let's start looking at the bottom. What shape is this? This is a rectangular prism. So I'm going to circle this one. Then what do we see on top of the rectangular prism? We see a cylinder. And finally, what do you see on top of the cylinder? A cone, right? So this composite shape was made out of a rectangular prism, a cone, and a cylinder. Good job. Number 2. Look at the composite shape. What shapes do you see that were used to make this final shape? We see a cube, and we see a cone. Excellent. Great job. Let's keep going. Number 3. What is the very bottom shape? What is that bottom shape called? Rectangular prism. Then what two shapes do we see on top of the rectangular prism? We see a cube, and we see one more shape that is called a cylinder. So those 3 shapes were used to make this one composite shape. Okay, very good. So we're all done with this lesson, and I will see you when we work on my own. Good job, friends.